HR on the Mat, the series where we talk about the parallels between your work life and your yoga mat. I'm Courtney Scott with Balance and Harmony Yoga, and joining me as always is Peggy Hogan from Cultivating. As you can see today, we are on site at Baptiste Yoga once again. And with us today is Elissa. I had the opportunity to meet Elissa several years ago practicing yoga. It's one of the things I love about in-studio practice is this opportunity to meet fellow yogis who end up coming to the same classes that you do week after week and developing a tribe and community of fellow practitioners. So, Elissa, I've enjoyed practicing with you. Why don't you introduce yourself to our viewers?
Hi, I'm Elissa Atkins, and I am a nurse. I work for a big hospital in Indianapolis, and I manage a unit that includes 55 school nurses in about 40 different school buildings. So it is a large group of nurses that I'm in charge of.
Yeah, it's a big job.
Yeah. So obviously health and wellness has to be important to you because you work for a healthcare facility and you're overseeing the health and well-being for children all over the community. So how has yoga kind of helped you professionally?
I think as a leader, it's important to, demonstrate what you kind of want out of your people as well. And for me to take that time and take care of myself, I really want to push, especially my younger nurses I'm trying to train to put yourself first, take care of yourself physically, mentally. Our motto is, spiritually, mentally, physically, all aspects of your life to take care of yourself. So I come to the mat to really focus on all of those aspects to make me a better leader.
That's awesome. And you've got so many people deployed in so many different places. We know that's a challenge for leaders, especially right now. Some people are starting to learn that. You've been living it, really. And I love that you mentioned focus because, one of the yoga terms that we use is drishti, which is the item that you're sort of focusing on. Has that helped you at all, or do you think about that?
It is. So, when I come to the mat, I try and train myself to really let go of everything and just focus, just stop letting my mind wander a million different ways. And I use that to spend time with my nurses one-on-one and really dedicate myself to my time with them. And the biggest issue with my department is we are in 40 different buildings and we're not a unit in the hospital where everybody is together, where typically you can bounce stuff on each other and you have that support. Well, you are typically one RN by yourself. So everybody feels much more isolated. So I love to give myself one-on-one to them. Almost every day I choose a nurse each day to spend time with and really just shut down my world and focus on them and take in everything we say. It doesn't have to be work. It can be their life, their home, their kids, anything. They can complain, but really just focus on them. And it makes such a better relationship one-on-one, especially when they are isolated, to know that I'm there for them and I care and I dedicate my time to them.
So talking about this idea of drishti and focus in those one-to-one conversations, how does that correlate to how you identify what you need as a leader internally and setting the priorities to take care of yourself first before you can take care of your team?
So I'm also a mother, and you spend your whole life focusing on your kids and they come first, and they do, but you also can't be a good mother unless you take care of yourself, just in the workplace as well. Like I have to learn to prioritize myself and give myself that time to really just clear everything. And it does. I walk off the mat and my mind's clear and it gives you a fresh focus and you're happier and you feel good. And then I come home or I go to work and I can completely give myself to everybody else because I've given myself my own time to start off the day.
Yeah. How important is having a community that isn't your work community and it isn't your home community or maybe even your neighbors? It's just a different place to meet different people with different professions and, different things going on in their life. How important is that to you?
It's very important. So that's how I met Courtney. And it's just as important for me to have my time with my friends where I release and talk and are open about everything going on personally, professionally, and where the people I meet on the mat are the people that can take that in as well and hear everything I have to say, just like I do with my staff. Like, it's my time to release and just converse, and we bounce. You learn so much from people on the mat. So I have a small little world of my co-yogis, and it's very important for our time together too. And I look forward to my time on the mat with them.
Has that grown to time off the mat with them too?
It has. It has led to wine time and, getting the kids together and meeting other moms or similar, or husbands. There are men that we hang out with as well. And we spend all kinds of time, and you learn new crafts and ideas, and you're open to new experiences of what everybody else's life may entail off the mat.
I think there's so many correlations to what you said about cultivating those relationships, not only from a personal, but from a leadership perspective, starting with the common ground of yoga, which is how we met. And then the relationship has just blossomed, and opening yourself up to those new experiences where you do have to stretch yourself or get into an uncomfortable position that may be just unfamiliar, and that's what makes it uncomfortable. Can you share a little bit about how do you take the lessons and the value that you get on your yoga mat and from your practice and try to share it with your nurses or with your kids or anyone else in your life you think could benefit from the lessons, even if they're not a yoga practitioner themselves?
So some of the big lessons I've learned include maybe that you're never perfect. You're never going to be there. Life is always growing. We will always make mistakes. You never reach that perfect level. And I love the thought that every day of your life, you just take another step to grow. And whether you fall, you just get back on and you do it again. And even when you think you have something perfected, you can always tweak it more. You can always move on and learn something new. So off the mat, I take it to definitely my kids, my family, my friends. That's how we grow our relationships, especially my employees. Maybe they make a mistake or, I don't know, especially the younger ones where you're really kind of trying to guide them. I use that to kind of stop and say, it's okay. I think sometimes they're scared, like what kind of trouble they're going to be in or anything, maybe there is, but most, you're like, you're going to grow, you're going to learn, and it's okay. We're going to improve it next time.
That's awesome. That's great management and really kind of mentoring too.
Sure.
And I think one of the things that I've learned is adaptability, and that just what happens today isn't necessarily what happened yesterday or tomorrow. And I know just yesterday I was doing a practice that Courtney was teaching, and I just could not balance. And normally that's my jam. That's my favorite part, is like the tree poses.
Yep.
And I had to say, you know what? I don't know why, but today I'm going to just do the easy modification. And, there is a vulnerability that you really kind of open yourself up to when you're on the mat, because there are people who are in all sorts of contortions and things. And, it could be easy to look at them and kind of say, well, I can't do that, so I shouldn't do it. But what I love is there is this acceptance of where you are, but there's also encouragement to continue the journey. And I think that translates really well for a manager in terms of communicating that to someone on their team.
Yep.
We don't want to say it's okay to just stay status quo, for sure, but there's that balance.
Yeah.
And it's that encouragement. I can remember you and I on several sessions trying to do different crazy contortions and versions and testing ourselves. And
it's so fun to support each other and try and lift each other up.
Get so excited that the other one accomplishes something, and that excitement for a yoga practice, at the end of the day, it's not that serious. It's just yoga. But what is serious about it is that encouragement that is 100% heartfelt, and that support in a non-judgmental environment. And I think that's so critical for leaders, especially now in this virtual world, to be helping to create that environment for their team members and anyone who's following them, and to create that followership through that encouragement and non-judgmental culture creation.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I also feel that yoga, people think of those moves and the contortions and the stretching and flexibility. And then they also think of the sort of, the ohms and the stuff that gets kind of, they might feel like it's kind of flaky even. Where do you sit with all of that? And where does that kind of influence you even at work? Like, is it more of a physical thing for you or mental or, how does it work for you?
Probably mental. Just, when I come to the mat, it has taken me years to stop focusing on other people and what they can do or where I need to be. And that's a huge step, like mentally, to step back and say, this is me and it's only me. And this is my goal, not anybody else's. So when I take that to work, especially when I'm really focusing on my staff, if I sit and take in what they are, I'm there to help them grow. Like, hey, let's focus on you, not me. And, definitely I love helping them grow, whether it's in their nursing skills or do they want to focus on a master's in something or learn some trade. I love seeing that and say, like, how can we make this work? Like, this is you. Like, let's focus on you. This is your time, not mine. And it's hard for people the competition and what's going on outside. So you just have to learn.
But that's a good leadership quality, really. A lot of people, I'm not going to say leaders, a lot of managers want to manage performance and they want to say, this didn't go well, fix it, figure it out. This is your job. And that's so different from how can we get there?
Sure.
And this is about you and, how can I help? And kind of that's really more leadership, leading someone in a positive direction.
Absolutely.
Which might mean leading them out the door one day.
Absolutely. I mean, if it's not the right fit, but at least and I think knowing the person like that and hearing them is where you really get to know them and you can understand where they're coming from and how to help them grow, whatever way it may be.
Melissa, we really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much for joining us in another conversation on HR on the Mat.
Yeah, and I love just the idea again of the drishti and the focus and focusing on your employee. We do know employees leave a lot of times because of their managers.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times that is because they don't feel like they get that one-on-one time or that one-on-one time isn't really about them.
Sure.
It's about the task list,
Yep.
So I think if we can take a lesson from today from you, maybe having some sort of drishti, whether it's something on the wall to help you balance or something for that employee, maybe it's goal setting and writing something on paper with them that they can attain.
All right, we'll close. Big inhaler. Arms come up, palms come to kiss. Exhale down to heart center. The light in me sees the light in all of you and our viewers. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste.